My name is Diego. I'm a musician, producer, mixing engineer. You can check everything about me on patronstudio.com. There's also that paper there. Pretty nice. So I'm continuing with my streak of checking Eurovision out. Now we're landing on France. Last year's song from La Zarra was really cool. I really liked it. Today's video is a little bit weird because I have a new studio now and I moved all the stuff there. And it's functional, yeah. That's where I can produce, record, mix and do all of my music. But the place still looks very bad. So, let's dive into it. Before we start, please support my channel by subscribing and buying me coffee, because this keeps me alive. If I don't drink coffee, I die. So, first of all, I don't speak French. I don't know anything about it. So, seems to be that it has subtitles, which is very nice. It's really hard to connect completely with a song when you don't understand what they're saying. When the language doesn't allow me to understand what they're singing about, I'm really missing out. So I hope these subtitles are cool. Let's go. Slimane, Mon Amour. Disclaimer, if you see this part, it is because I uploaded the video and it got blocked because of the copyright owner. It already happened in some other videos, and the solution for this is, to cut the whole song, which is the first part of my reaction, and that allows the video to be published and seen. Then what you can see is tiny pieces of maximum 8 seconds. That is what this copyright owner allows. So this is a very cut version of what really happened, but what really happened is I watched the whole thing entirely until the end. I normally put in my other reactions from copyright owners that allow that. I do that. I leave the whole thing, but sometimes I get blocked, and this is one of them. So enjoy the rest of the reaction with tiny pieces of the song and my comment. Holy shit! He sings like perfect, and he has so many colors of a voice. That was really impressive. I even didn't pay attention to instrumental, so I'm gonna do that later. That was a beast. It's a beast of a singer. And the emotion he put into the song and kind of the topic. I mean, now that we have subtitles, I kind of get what the song is about. It's this doubt of if you did something wrong. I don't know what's the real context. Might be nice to know if you're fans or you know more about the context about the song. Please write it in the comments. I always learn a lot from every reaction I do. There are the fans coming and giving all the biography, what the song is about, the translations, the cultural background. So please do that. It's amazing. Yeah, it was a great performance. I really didn't pay attention to this clothes. He has these mirrors until the camera was really showing it. I was just not paying attention. And then it's really nice, that effect, like a disco ball effect that it puts on the whole stage. I might want to steal that for my next shows. Let's go piece by piece. Stop. Alright, so piano and vocals, very simple. One thing I tend to admire is this storytelling type of composition. With time, we're really getting used to music that has very small building blocks, meaning one loop, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it repeats and it repeats. And I tend to really appreciate the type of music that has longer building blocks. In this case, all of this until there was one building block. So it's way longer than a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a lot of chords. It's a chord progression that ends up with like a tension and then release. And it's like going up and down. It's a long-term conversation. He sings very deep and he has a very good voice. The mix is very clear, pop. Like you hear a lot of these high-end whisperings that from the voice, which is not natural. If someone sings next to you, you might not hear that. This is a stylistic decision on the mix. I know, we like that. We enjoy that a lot. I enjoy that a lot, and it makes the vocal to be like way more forward than the instrumental. And there's another thing that they do with instrumentals also, that they remove those frequencies a lot from the instrumental. So in the spectrum of frequencies, there's a lot of space for the vocals to be there. So let's continue.
Est-ce que tu m'aimes ou pas?
All right. So that's the chorus or refrain or refrain. And it's really cool also. And he goes up, he first sang in falsetto, Pocket! And then he goes to his chest voice, I think. I'm not really very specific with vocal coaching terms, but first was a falsetto and then it wasn't a falsetto. And he's really expressive. He's really like suffering and he's really transmitting with that singing, which is really cool. I also like going back a little bit, the beginning with the hand. That was really nice filmed. I think they're getting more and more creative with these videos, and I really like it. And it was super simple. It's just a black background, and it's just camera and the singer. It might also be all in one shot, no cut, which it's something also super cool because it makes it feel more real, you know. There's also a lot of reverb in the vocals, meaning that you sing like this in the microphone and the microphone captures this, and a little bit of this room, like, of course, but then you add a bit more of room. You could simulate a lot of different spaces and you can make it sound like you're singing in a gigantic chapel or in a small studio or in a bathroom or in a car. You can add that, and they added that in this production a lot. There's a lot of space. So he sings and this stuff continues spreading around like a comet. I always use the comet analogy for explaining how you use reverb. You have the rock, which is your direct voice into the microphone, and as it progresses in time, it leaves a trace, a shiny trace. You can make it a short trace or you can make it a super long trace, and that's that type of sound is spreading in time.
Mon amour, allez.
He really puts up intensity right here, and his voice now has like a very rock kind of sound. I don't know how that's called in vocal coach terms, but I really enjoy that. Like, he has a very flexible voice. He started deep, then he went to a falsetto, then a high voice, and now he's like growling. Let's consider here it says official music video. So it's not a live performance. Or it could be, I don't know. But I detected a little bit of autotune where he says the word Paris. I totally heard some autotune there. Everybody does it. I think every producer now has a very weak trigger for putting autotune on everything. I don't like that. I prefer to hear something less perfect, but true. Yeah, I forgot the rest what I wanted to say, so let's continue. So we normally have, this is a very normal structural thing. We have the verse, then the chorus, then the verse, then the chorus, and now this is the C part, which it adds an extra. It feels like it's like you're discovering something, some new information that makes you understand the song deeper. So the verse is like, this happens. Here's the situation. I mean, I'm talking about the lyrics, right? Here's the situation. And then comes the chorus, and this is the main message of the song. Then comes the second chapter of what's happening. Then comes again the chorus, the refrain, saying, this is what happens. I love you. Like, shut up! And now comes this part that kind of reveals more information and gives the whole song more meaning. And that's why it sounds different. And also it's like a break. And then after this, it always comes, again, the chorus, like the refrain, like to solidify again the whole purpose of the song, this shit. He also has a very strong vibrato. For those of you who don't know what a vibrato is, when you say something like a note, like a long note, let's say, ah, that's without vibrato. And then the vibrato makes the thing go up and down like, ah. And everybody has their own vibrato. And I think his one is like very strong, like, ah, ah. Very strong, very strong. I don't know if I enjoy that a lot, this amount of vibrato. I prefer like smooth curves, like slow curves. But of course, if you have a long note, it's like common knowledge that you have to add some vibrato. Even on guitar solos, like having a long note is quite risky. So if you add some vibrato, it's more colorful and alive. And the same with every kind of solo instrument or lead instrument has to have some vibrato. I understand also why, because it makes you feel more safe about the tone you're trying to sing. So you go a little bit up, a little bit down, until you kind of like, this is the real note, the scientific note you have to hit, and you're always like kind of around. So you're never like staying in the wrong, like up or staying wrongly down. So you like go up and down. That's a good thing to do. And we're used to it, but sometimes once you hear the vibrato, you cannot stop hearing it, and that's something I can't live with. Yeah, perfect. I think this is a perfect song. I still have no connection to the song. It's a good song. It's a great singer, a great performance. But it's not moving me to the core. I think it's very emotional and transmits a lot. But it's not really something, one of my favorites. Because even if I told you I like a lot of different things, it's just a very traditional shape of a song that I've heard 1,000 times before, since the 70s, since the 60s, since the Beatles. And of course, it's really hard to do something absolutely new, but I think other countries have submitted stuff that's quite different and not so normal, not so this kind of normal popular. What is not normal here is his performance. That was out of everything. Was really great, really enjoyable vocals, and it's a very personal message. It's like super compenetrated with the message in the way he performs, which is really cool. What else? Well, he's singing in French. That's a very cool thing. Some countries go to English to try to reach more. But I think also when a performer comes to Eurovision, it's of course it's competing worldwide, but it's also super important for their own country and their own like people who speak the same language, because you might win Eurovision or you might not win Eurovision, but this is a lot of exposure to a lot of people who are like watching Eurovision, and there's this one artist for an entire country, so automatically you have a lot of people who will discover you. And for a lot of these artists, life goes on after winning or not winning Eurovision. So why to do a song in English if then the rest of your career is not going to be in English? So I think it's a very strong, hard decision to do, to sing in your own language. What do you think about that? So that was my reaction to Slimane, Mon Amour. I'm Diego, musician, producer, mixing engineer, drummer. And I'm gonna be playing drums in Berlin. I will leave a link. I'm gonna be playing with Blake Harley. Great pop music, synthwave, dark wave, new wave. I don't know. It's really hard to label music, but it's really cool pop music with some very creative sound, also referring back to the 80s. So I will leave some links in the description. Buy me coffee if you love me, and if you hate me, don't. Leave your comments. Please don't take anything that I say personal. That will be very stupid from you. And see you in the next reaction.